What's going on, guys? This is Trent from Trentfluence, and today we'll be talking about social anxiety and speaking up and how difficult it is to speak up when you've lived your whole life being very introverted. And also, with that background, I'm trying something new. So today, I'm going to be making bread. Yeah, that's right. We're baking instead of cooking today. Still counts as cooking, I feel like. But if you're wanting to see how hard or easy it is to make bread, check out the video while also checking out how much of a pain in the ass it is to live like with social anxiety. But anyway, that's all I got. There's been no guest today, so that
Oh, you
I said no guest today.
Lord.
Can't never get no peace in this damn house. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and maybe if you like it, give me some feedback. Other than that, have a good one and peace. What's going on, guys? This is Trent from Trentfluence, and today I want to talk about social anxiety and speaking up, because both kind of like are two sides of the same coin and both kind of just fight each other. But I came up with a quote that I thought about for this topic, which what I made up was that it's hard to stand up for yourself or speak up when you've been introverted or non-confrontational. But if you just go about the world silently and by the book, then you will be overlooked and forgotten. And even though it feels safe, you'll never feel satisfied and feel like the whole world's against you when the whole world doesn't even know who you are. And a lot of that quote that I made up rings true for a lot of the situations that I dealt with in my life, because ever since I was raised, I was pretty a quiet, by the book kid. Of course, I had my rambunctious phases, but for the most part, when it came to external social situations, I was the kid that was, just kept my mouth shut, didn't really say much, didn't really try to make a lot of friends. When something happened, I never really spoke. I just sat there playing my game and just went along with it. And when you grow up never really learning how to socialize or use your voice or speak, then you kind of just develop a lot of anxiety against doing that when the time is right, when it's necessary. Because as an adult, you essentially need to speak out for yourself to get things done. Like, even though it shouldn't happen, there's a lot of things that we do and follow the rules and the guidelines like to a T. Like, for example, place our order at a restaurant and wait for it. We should get our order in a good time, right? Like, go to McDonald's, make an order for like, I don't know, quarter pounder and a large fry. Damn, I'm fat. And we should expect that in like 15 minutes. Then an hour passes by. And most people, at least most normal people who are able to just, know how to speak up, would be like, hey, where's my order? But a lot of us that grew up kind of just introverted and non-confrontational, not speaking up, we're just going to go like, all right, well, I'll just wait longer then. I don't want to cause any conflict or make any inconvenience for the people doing it. It's probably a back. We try to find ways to rationalize it. And yes, it's good to be considerate. It's good to try to rationalize things. It's good to have patience, but it's also necessary to know when to actually speak up against, like, hey, did you guys forget my order? Because a lot of times, this runs true for me going to Wawa and having order 77, and the orders go in numerical order, okay? At order 77, right? They get the order, they get the order 120, and I'm like, hey, did you guys make order 77? I've already been waiting for an hour, and it's like, oh no, we didn't even see that, we just forgot about it, and I'm like, oh, okay. And if I had spoke up just like 30 minutes sooner, standing inside a freaking Wawa, like what's there to do in Wawa? Look at snacks. Then I would have been able to have my order made a lot sooner. And this is just a light example, okay? I always offer light examples, so I don't want to just dive deep into oh, if he spoke up, he wouldn't just be abused. Like, no, like, I want to just hit hard right off the bat. But with that being said, though, with knowing that sometimes you just need to speak up, there comes that little tiny aspect that people often overlook when people have these like motivational videos to say, just speak up, keep your head up, be confident, just simply just do it. There's a little thing that a lot of these people tend to ignore and not really mention and say, oh yeah, social anxiety. And a lot of it, you know, a lot of it gets written up as like, oh, kids these days, young people these days are so soft and nobody wants to talk to anybody. Everybody's so introverted. Back in my day, when I was 10 years old, I used to holler at my dad at the construction site out these girls passing by on the street. Like, no, this is not 1933. But social anxiety, and for the most part, a lot of kids being raised, especially nowadays, like iPad kids getting raised, like people getting raised by social media, and people not really being raised with knowing how to socialize, being put in social circles, being allowed to kind of think for themselves and be curious. It causes a lot of people, because you hear it all the time. You hear people are so lonely. It's a loneliness epidemic. People are lonely. People are lonely. People don't want to talk. People are not for conversation. Like there are reasons behind that, and there's plenty of research to support that, and plenty of people, even more people, just simply just talking about it. How Gen Z and millennials are antisocial, socially inept, don't know how to talk, and as much as people want to just bash and assault it, nobody actually wants to think about why it's such a big problem, or even combat or make it aware, try to find ways to combat it. And sometimes it's like, as a grown ass adult, whether you're like, just turning 18 or about to turn 30, it's like, no, like, I don't want to not speak up because I just want to let things happen. It's like, I don't want to speak up because I'm fucking scared. I haven't been equipped with the knowledge or, you know, raised in the environment or put in the environment to where I needed to ever really speak up, or at least just whenever things happen, people either do things for me, or whenever I spoke up. A lot of people have had experiences where they've spoken up or at least tried to and received a lot of negative backlash and been either abused, insulted, bullied, like very early on, which led to, as an adult, just being outspoken, being timid, being afraid. And I'm not saying people can't be timid. Everybody has different personality types, but it becomes debilitating when you're put in a society where like people show off how to be successful. People always try to motivate, just do this, just do that, just speak on it, just simply work out will solve all your problems. It's never that simple. And of course, again, I could go on and on about how, like, you know, social anxiety affects people, how it causes them not speaking up. But I also want to cover why it's so important to speak up. And I feel like it's an obvious reason, so we can actually kind of get what we want out of life. Because again, the world's not going to really notice you unless you start trying to talk. And for me, because I've always like when it comes to like it's especially common topic for men talking to girls, like just saying hi, say hey, go talk to her, brother. I'm scared. Like the things we see on social media and all things like the whole like the worst you could say is no memes, and then it's like the guy goes over and say, dog, you are chopped, you are ugly, why are you talking to me? Like that shit, even the joke, it scares us. And we see it all the time, everywhere. And it's like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not trying to get any more depressed than I already am. Like that'd be the 13th reason for some people. I'm just like, damn, fuck that. On the flip side, like with women, when people and women get like abused by like the fifth guy in a row, trying to stand up for herself, then it's like, men ain't shit. I ain't talking to men. Like I hear and see this all too common, and even just again social situations where you need to speak up for yourself, like hell, job interviews or workplace harassment, where people will like just sexually harass you and then because they're either higher ranking, they've been there longer, um, or they're best friends with the HR manager, then it's like, okay, this dude's been, talking about my butt and, calling at me for like months and he hasn't stopped. And I have actual evidence of the dude doing it. Can you please help me? I'm trying to speak out and be confident and be, you know, open about it. And they're like, nah, boys will be boys. It's not his fault. You're so beautiful. So just, just get back in line. Just tune him out. Just tune him out. And people wonder why people don't want to talk. So I think I talked long enough on like social anxiety and things that can cause it and cause us to be apprehensive on speaking up and speaking out and speaking up, down, left, right, side to side. And the biggest question is, and the whole point is just like, how do we combat this? How do you get yourself into the mindset where you start wanting to speak up more because you're sick of staying quiet, you're sick of just letting things happen? And and I'll be quite honest with you, there is no fucking right answer to it. I know how I kind of got through it, and it's that kind of cliche advice, but I just kind of just started doing it. I started getting fed up, got sick and tired of being sick and tired. Because I was always like a very lonely loner guy. And then just never bothered to socialize. I was like, man, I want a girlfriend. I'm lonely. I wish my friends would invite me to parties. I wish I'd go out, all this and that, and be like, why won't anybody talk to me? Why don't girls like me? Why don't I get invited? And stuff like that. And the thing is, things will not just simply happen to you just because you want it to happen. You can't just always will it to happen. Like now, some things are biased depending on like what gender you are, how attractive you are, what family you're from, the people you know. Sometimes things just happen to you. Some people get lucky. It happens. It's not fair. The world's not fair. Some people have like their whole life happen to them and they just get to cherry pick, whatever path they want to do. They're just natural like socialites. And that's it's unfortunate because not everybody gets that, but that's just the fucking way the world is. And the unfortunate aspect of that is most of us, aren't given the opportunity to just be able to just have shit just happen to us, just be able to just simply just learn how to be social from like age 5 and up. And for that, for me, it took me realizing that it really took me just kind of having an epiphany one day and be like, you know what? And also like really good advice from a friend where it's like, you know what? If you really want like a girl, you really want people that will accept you or that people you could talk to and to start actually talking, like, go somewhere where people have your shared interests. And I'm not gonna get too much into it, but long story short, I went to like an anime convention, right? And like that's where I met like my first ever girlfriend because I actually like, saw somebody who liked my cosplay, spoke up to them. I was scared too. I was like, And I simply just said, hi, thank you for liking my cosplay. You look great. Do you want to go get ramen? Nothing hinted, just simply just a friendly, just gathering. Then we talked, and then it just like went from there. Like, how it ended, rather not say. But the fact that that happened made me realize sometimes it's just as easy as just like saying something to someone. Of course, double-edged sword. We could always have a good or bad experiences. It's like, what's the worst they could say? Oh, there are a lot of worse things people can say. you know, Yeah, I mean, it also comes from, you gotta take care of yourself, gotta make sure you're not looking, raggedy at whatnot. But sometimes feeling confident in yourself will help you be more inclined to speaking out. Because when you look good, you're the one in the room that looks good, you're not musty, then It makes you less apprehensive to want to talk to people. At least that's for me. That was for me. I was very, very scared about like people gonna think I'm ugly, got no hair, bald, bald. But it took that little breakout moment to start being like, you know what? If I start speaking to people more, even outside of just wanting to like somebody, people will notice me or people will like recognize me, stuff like that. And so I kind of took the aspect, and it took a long time, but I started kind of like taking that mindset towards other things, like and I feel like it's true as you get older. Some people learn it very young, and which is awesome. I hope more people do. But as you get older, sometimes you start really not tolerating. Not even sometimes. Your tolerance level gets lower, and you start just kind of being like, "All right, I'm fed up. I'm gonna say something. I'm going to try to make something happen because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the same thing happening. Like you're at work, somebody's not doing their work, or people just getting on your nerves. Eventually, you're gonna speak up, or at least that's how it worked for me. I just got so tired of either being talked over, talked down upon, being interrupted. Oh, being interrupted is one of my biggest pet peeves. I hate being interrupted. And it's like, if you hate being interrupted, why are you letting it happen? And I'm like, you know what, brain? Or, you're right side of the brain. I should not do that. And it's like, you're welcome, left side. East side. But, I really just started, just trying to experiment speaking out, be like, hey. And sometimes you will never recognize how much power, it sounds kind of sus, how much power you have over people until you start speaking up for yourself. A lot of people, believe it or not, you know, when you tell them that they did something you didn't like, a lot of people surprisingly will be obedient and be like, "Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Like some people, even people that intimidate you, people that seem like the biggest bullies in the world, even my big ass. Like I'm thinking, I mean, I'm not like a fucking giant. I'm like 5'11", 242 pounds. But even I, like, somebody told me, some small person told me, hey, like, I need you to, back up a little bit. You're too close to me. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm a big ass teddy bear. Again, not everybody's a teddy bear, but if somebody never said that to me, I wouldn't even notice. So for me, getting over the social anxiety, I still have it. Trust me. I still like today. I'm keeping my black ass inside. It's summer, 2025, July. It's hot as hell outside. I'm already 3 shades blacker than I should be. I'm keeping my ass inside. I ain't talking to fucking nobody today. But when I do need to talk to somebody, whether it's a social situation or I just need to get my fucking check on how my oil change is going and be like, I don't want to inconvenience the mechanics, but I'm like, hey, it's taking a little longer than usual. What's going on? Everything all right? There is nothing wrong with that. And I get it. People have had a lot worse social experiences than I have. I honestly, genuinely was a very lucky drama-free kid. But that being said, I'm making this video because I do feel for the people that have had abusive situations, that have had situations where, unlike me, who's able to just be like, just have an epiphany and be like, oh, let me just start talking more and it'll solve my problems. All my problems are not solved, by the way. But, but I feel for that because I've talked to so many friends that they're quiet, they're sad, and they don't want to deal with the backlash of a potentially bad situation because they've been through like abuse from adults, people their same age, even from children. Kids are fucking mean. Kids would be like, "Man, you're ugly," and like without hesitation, brutally honest ass kids. And then those kids get slapped for saying it. Then they grow up with social anxiety because they were so confident in saying it. The cycle repeats and continues. But I really feel for people that I've gone through that. I can't imagine what it's like to grow up where every time you spoke, you were outspoken or treated like your word didn't mean anything, even when you were in trouble. And now you have to live with that and try to get through that. So, unfortunately, I don't have a solution for that. I can only share my experience and raise awareness for it. But I do genuinely hope that this video at least will be relatable enough to allow people to be like, not just, I'm not the only one with this problem. And if other people can solve it, even if they have easier lives, maybe I can start taking steps towards getting through it. And that's, or like getting past it, getting over the social anxiety, getting over the abuse, fighting through my traumas. And that's what every video I make. I want people to know that my situation is not exactly like theirs, but it's relatable enough to find some common ground and recognize that this is a problem. I need to address it because it's affecting my life in a negative way. And I need to think of ways to get through it, whether it's talking to friends, doing what I do, and just trying to just go for it. The gung-ho method doesn't work for everybody, I promise you that, but it worked for me for the most part. Or getting, like, going to psychotherapy, just something to start getting better. Because that's the whole point of why I make these videos, is to just start getting better and improving yourself. Because I've started improving myself. I'm not perfect, but I've started and been trying for a while. And I want to hopefully share the wealth. Because I just want people to be nice and just be good and be able to be themselves. But with that being said, I have talked long enough. It's been a long ass video. I've just been rambling. No script whatsoever. But that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and the food in the background. It's been Trent from Trentfluence. Hope you have a good one, and peace.